If I were to ask you the question, would you rather build the body of your dreams or stay athletic for life? How would you respond to that? Now, I think a lot of it is contextual dependent. If you're 25 and single, you're going to respond to that differently than if you're 75 and have 13 kids. Now, the point of this video is to kind of have the answer be both. I want you to be able to walk away from this video and say, oh, okay, so that is how you can achieve an aesthetic body and also stay athletic for life in a pain-free, healthy way. So let's dive right in. So in order to dive in, I need to give you a little bit of context into why I'm even sitting here making a video about this in the first place. And a lot of it stems from just the frustration of feeling like I thought I was doing things correctly in the gym, but not having that actually represented in the real world. And what I mean by that is I was building muscle, doing my compound movements in the gym, but then getting injured just playing tennis. When I'm 24 years old, so I'm like, why am I getting injured on the tennis court when I feel like I'm doing everything correctly in the gym? Like these are what the other fitness people are doing online, so I must be just genetically deficient and absolutely weird. I don't know. Something's wrong with me, I guess. Play the victim card. That'll always win. Now, after doing some research, I realized that I wasn't seeing the full picture within my training style. When we take a look at how bodybuilders train, which is how most people train at the gym, I go to my local Gold's Gym just down the street and I'll observe how people are training, which is going from machine to machine or a compound movement here, then back to a machine. And why this is problematic is that this happens in one plane of motion. You're usually either stuck to a machine or when you're doing a squat, your feet are side by side and you're not really challenging human movement. You're not challenging or representing how you actually move in real life. And let's take, for example, an athlete. How exactly does an athlete move? An athlete has to move in all sorts of directions. They have to be coordinated and they have to be explosive. Like if we think of Michael Jordan, for example, we can't, it's almost impossible to associate bodybuilding exercises with him. It just, there's a missing link between the two. And so when I made that observation and I realized that my training literally does not comprise of any sort of coordination, explosiveness, or multi-directional movements, I realized that something needs to change. And so when I was looking at what types of exercises to do or what would be the best way to kind of make my training more functional, I stumbled upon kettlebells. And I realized that kettlebells are the answer because you can't do kettlebell exercises without being explosive or without doing them in a coordinated way. It's literally impossible to. Like if you take a swing or a snatch or a clean, the actual exercise itself forces you to be explosive, forces you to be more functional. And now if we take something like the Turkish get-up, we're having to contort ourselves in like 12 different directions. And so we're challenging ourselves in that way. And so the solution to the problem that I was facing was just do kettlebells before your compound movements. Have the best of both worlds. You can train explosively with a 50-pound kettlebell, a 30-pound kettlebell, and then do your bodybuilding, do your bodybuilding compound movements later. Literally just put the two together and you'll have the best of both worlds. Now, if you want me to dive into this a little bit deeper and go into the programming and how I think about it, comment down below because I'm curious if people are interested in this or if this resonates with anybody in the first place. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.